All right. Hello, everybody. We're back. We're back by popular demand. We got really good feedback on the first video. So we thought, hey, the Crossroads over. It was last weekend. Let's do a quick debrief video. I'm joined by Felix, the second part of the helpful hubs,
The important part of the helpful Hobs, you mean?
the one that almost turned a hurtful hub for a little
That's
bit.
true. I'm glad we remain the helpful Hob, not the hurtful Hob. Both of us, I would say,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah. So the Crossroad was last weekend, so
Mhm.
we've barely recovered. I don't know how this week was for you, but it felt like up until Thursday or even today, Friday, when we record this video,
Yeah.
I was still in recovery mode, just trying to get some sleep back and, just
Same.
get my
I guess
life
it's
back
just
together.
it is more taxing when you actually think like you think you go there have a bit of fun with your buddies playing some cards, but yeah, in the end, like I mean also like the traveling part is yeah, not to underestimate, I guess.
Yeah, it's a full weekend trip, right? We
Hmm.
both arrived there on the Friday.
Hmm.
Um, Even though it's in your country, I think you still had a pretty long trip, probably
I
as long as
did.
mine, weirdly.
I think our was probably the same. I don't know. It took me like, don't lie, like 5 to 6 hours, something like that. I'm basically in the eastern part of Germany, Erfurt. And Gelsenkirchen is on the other end, basically. Yeah, quick thing to Gelsenkirchen. It is in the Ruhrpott, which is an industrial area, and it is. We arrived there, so we had Ilfigor, a buddy of us, got the apartment down for the all four of us, and it was at the Schalker Meile, and that is basically Schalke is just known for the football club Schalke, and we were right in the middle in the hot spot of where the hardcore football fans celebrated all weekend for the soccer game. Yeah, pretty funny.
Yeah, we arrived. So I was traveling from London, where I'm living. There were a couple of UK sorcerers with me. We took an Uber with Nick, who was also staying with us at the Airbnb. And I think we stayed like 1 hour and 30 minutes in the Uber when it should have been like a 40-minute drive, just because we were stuck in traffic. It was the day of the game. I was like, oh boy, what did
Yeah.
we where did we land here?
Yeah. Terrible. Terrible, terrible place to be, I would say, Gelsenkirchen. You guys don't have to live there. Live, just go somewhere
That's
else.
true.
It's,
It's
it's weird.
correct.
It's weird. All right, making
Um,
making some enemies here with the Gelsenkirchen guys, but
Yeah, if you play sorcery and you're based out there, we're sorry
we're
for
sorry.
you,
Yeah.
really.
Yep. Yeah, but I think
Um, yeah, go for it.
I think besides that, the event hall, basically the venue, was outstanding once again. The guys from the White Rabbit who organized it made a pretty good job with the venue, the whole staff, the whole atmosphere. Yeah, once again, second to none. Like I think like the sorcery events in TCG in a TCG world are probably the best overall.
Yeah,
Yeah, and yeah,
yeah.
quick shout out to
Venues.
everyone that was
Yeah,
there. The guys, the troll guys, the White Rabbit people, cardboard guy, nerd Jürgen from Nerd and Proud of It. Everyone was there, big family gathering basically. It was amazing.
yeah. The venue was super spacious. We'll talk about the setup when we talk about the top eight, etc. But there were like multiple areas. There was plenty of space. Um, and yeah, it was just a full hall of sorcery players. It was great. It was great to see faces that we already knew, but also
Hmm.
new faces. I don't know about you, but like I felt like a lot of these people I was meeting for the first time, and I guess that's not surprising when you have
Yeah.
128 players.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, it was the biggest sorcery event for, or at least in Europe, I would say. I'm not sure how
Oh
many
yeah,
people attended the Gen Con. I want to say it was not that, like, not 128. I want to say it's less, but I'm not sure.
I think they had more drop-offs, which I guess is not
Yeah,
surprising because it's part of a broader convention, blah blah blah. But
true.
yeah, I
But
think
was the
yeah maybe like a handful.
starting player was also 128? Who
I
knows?
think so. I know they were sold out for a while, and I don't know if
Hmm.
people dropped off before, etc. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think we had two drop offs. So I think the tournament was eventually 126 players, I want to say.
Yeah.
So yeah, packed,
Packed.
packed. But everything was super well organized. Like the rounds were on time.
Hmm.
For an event this size, it was
Hmm.
very, very impressive. So shout out to the White Rabbit crew and everyone working behind the scenes to make it work.
Yep. Agree.
All right. Um, we need to mention right away that we had a pretty good weekend. I think we had a goal and we reached that goal. Do you wanna
Yeah,
talk us through
I
that a little bit?
I would say so. I mean, your weekend was probably even a little bit better than mine, but yeah, not gonna lie. I think our goal was to have a good time, first of all. Definitely reached that. And besides that, we wanted to achieve going top eight, I would say, going 6-1, if possible, or do our best, basically, and maybe have a shot at one of those cool Waymo foil avatars that the top four players will get. And little spoiler, we both managed to get at least top four, and Geoffrey even went further. Maybe not a surprise to most of the competitive sorcery player, as you have quite a how do you say, streak
Yeah.
in winning tournaments in Europe and also online in the leagues. Yeah, it's going pretty well for you, I would say.
Yeah, not so much online. I tend to lose in the finals to Moth, but I
Yeah,
think that's,
yeah,
something understandable given how good
that's
of a player he is.
agree. Don't I
Um,
would never say that publicly as
we'll edit
Muff
that out.
knows. We
It's
edited
fine.
that out for sure, but yeah, he is probably one of the best sorcery players out there for sure.
But, it's obviously a huge tournament, 120 players. You you can think that, you're well prepared and
Hmm.
you've done all the homework you can do. Ultimately, it's still a TCG with built-in variants. It's
For
best of
sure.
one. It's, you can never
Hmm.
guarantee that like you're gonna do well or um, that your results are gonna be aligned with like your expectations just because you've practiced so much.
Yeah,
So we
definitely.
definitely couldn't take this for granted. And I mean, I don't know about you, but personally, I had plenty of close calls, and
Oh my God,
there were a
yeah, for
couple of
sure.
times during games where I was
For
like,
sure.
that's it, I'm out. I think that's my second loss right here.
Exactly. Same for me. I wasn't even too convinced. Maybe up front we both played an Archimago deck, which was basically the same. I
Yep.
think there was one difference in the sites. I took one more Holy Crown. You had instead an Annual Fair in. I just believed in drawing my thresholds and be a little bit more safe with a Holy Crown. You decided to be more safe on getting your Threshold Stone. Besides that, it was basically the same list, which basically means that I kind of copied your list because you're obviously the Archimago go-to guy to ask for. Yeah, so I think I just basically copied, like we were like upfront at the event, we were playing like almost on a daily basis, I would say, testing a
Yeah.
couple of things. Yeah, I think our like there were like a few. I think like 90% of the list was kind of set in stone already. There were a few things we went back and forth. I think last minute decision was like go up a poison over and cut one of the power flights, and that's about it.
Yeah.
The rest was
Yeah. I
kind
mean,
of set.
I think for you, people were maybe not aware that you were going to bring Archimago. I think for me, there was
Yeah,
absolutely no
I
surprise.
agree.
So,
Which is a little weird considering that we both had a pretty hard time winning against the Steam Druid list that I created in the last couple of weeks with a few
yeah.
slight adjustments compared to maybe, for example, Dew's list who won Gen Con with it. Um, I don't know if you want to, well, whatever. Definitely, we both had pretty much troubles winning against that list, which even felt then a little bit weird for me not playing that list. Real quick, reason why I did bring Archimago not Steam was basically in our last video we were talking about like the overall spreadsheet of decks and avatars, and Archimago's, in my opinion, if you manage to pilot it well, has the overall best spreadsheet. And Steam Druid is just pretty weak into the EF Sorcerer, and that was basically my main concern. I didn't want to lose against that deck that we were hyping up so bad, kinda. And also I think my Steam Druid might be pretty good into Magoo, but I don't know how good it is into the mirror, or the mirror at least feels always very swingy, and you sometimes don't have too much agency, so you might just lose to variance
Yeah,
more than you maybe have the chance with Archimago to just have a little bit more consistency overall. And yeah,
yeah,
that was basically a reason for me to bring Archimago. And another one is Rodney Matthew. The artwork of Archimago is amazing. And if I get a chance to get that one in rainbow foil, not gonna lie, that's a beautiful artwork.
well, you have one now.
I have one now. Yeah, nice.
I think for me, it was, not much of a surprise.
Yeah.
I played most of the AL meta with Archimago. It felt like a good way to kind of wrap up the year before Gothic drops.
Mhm.
Ideally try and do a good result with the deck. I think you touched on that very quickly, but obviously we did a video a month ago where we talked about our read of the meta at the time.
Mhm.
Um, we had roughly 3 decks that we were considering top tier. One of them was the one that we decided to bring. The other were Sorcerer, Earth, Fire, and then
Mhm.
Steam Druid, so Water and Fire.
Mhm.
Now, at the end of the video, we did say, okay, this is what we think are the best decks and like, the different tiers, etc.
Yeah.
But we also try to predict what was going to be the exact, or, what was going to be the general composition of the field at the Crossroads. Because obviously you could have a deck that is really, really good, but if it is not, easy to pilot,
Yep.
or if you don't have a lot of experience with it, we don't necessarily expect a lot of players to bring it.
Yeah.
So the meta tiers don't necessarily correlate to what we expect to see in the field.
Mhm.
And so at the time, we also made a different kind of like tier list in terms of like the decks that we expect to see most. And at
Yep.
the top, we had Sorcerer, Earthfire, and then Steam Druid.
Mhm.
A second category of like Pathfinder, a bit more Sorcerers, and Archimago. And then kind of like a middle layer of Avatar of Air, Death Speaker, a bit more Sorcerer, and then kind of scattered, you know, numbers for the rest.
Mhm.
And I think so. We'll show what the actual breakdown was because I think that's quite interesting.
It is super
Um,
interesting. To be fair,
there's
it's
definitely some stuff we got right, but there's also some stuff we got pretty wrong.
yeah. I mean, maybe starting with the part that we get right. I think no surprise. Basically, Druid and Sorcerer were the main decks that were signed
Yeah,
up for the event. Pretty sure like Deuce Hot Spring Druid list is very popular here in Europe. Um, for several reasons. And Sorcerer is also always, I would say, stable in the field. Um,
sure.
I think we nailed that pretty much, um, to no surprise. Things that we might underestimate it is how, like, yeah, a few battle mages and more battle
Yeah,
mages than Archimago. Interesting.
yeah.
Interesting for sure.
Yes. So Avatar of Air is actually the third most played avatar, which, we did put it up there, but I was expecting, I don't know, an Archimago maybe above still, or
Yeah.
maybe a Pathfinder. So Avatar of Air third most played. Very
Hmm.
cool to see. And
Yep.
then it's Battle Mage, I guess, but then you really get to the point where it's like, the
It's a
four,
little bit
five,
whatever.
six.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I think there's like we talked about it earlier that Battle Mage also Avatar of Air. It's just the pet deck from several people here in the States,
Yeah.
here in Europe and also in the States. I can think of like 2 people who play nothing but Battle Mage, and guess what? They brought their Battle Mage deck.
Yeah.
Was playing both of them actually. Yeah, and so same with Pathfinder, right? Like it's interesting. I'm a little bit surprised that the field was like overall more competitive than I would have thought. I thought we see a little bit
Mm.
more Dragon Lords, just for the fact that it is the new avatar, people want to play it. We see I don't know, like I guess like Templar or Wave Shapers. They were, yeah, it was just like the complete outliner. And yeah, overall the decks that were signed up were mostly top competitive decks.
Yeah. And I think just generally the players, I mean, I don't know about you, but
Hmm.
I I didn't have any rounds where I had to like explain some of the rules, etc. Like I feel like everyone had really good understanding of the game, the deck that they brought, what they
Yep,
were trying to do. Which, hasn't always been the case, right? Like sometimes you
sure.
get a run one and, sometimes a casual player came
Hmm.
in, wanted to check it out, and that's totally fine. That's very cool.
Yeah, if you,
But
if,
it felt like everyone was really, at least the seven persons I played on the Saturday were just
same.
really,
It
really on
was
top of it.
like all my games were pretty hard, I would say. I think we saw the uptick in people being a little bit more competitive in Sorcery at like a few months ago in Sorcery Fest, where we both had a pretty hard time to get to the finals.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
just like the logical consequence, maybe with the Crossroads, a little bit more on the line. People maybe put their Avatar of Water deck to the side and decide to bring something where they have a little bit of more chance to actually get a better placement. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally,
And I
totally.
think for some of the people that, for which it was maybe their first tournament or they wanted to pick up a deck kind of like for the first time and do well, they've probably reverted back to the Druids and Sorcerers. Um, because I mean, to be fair, it's also what we called out in the last video, right? Like they're pretty easy to pilot. You can just pick them up. You can do well if you know a little bit of the rules and like
Hmm.
you understand what your deck is trying to do. They're pretty easy to pilot, and so I assume that's where some of the more like the newer players to the scene, I guess, probably defaulted to.
Sure, for sure. Nothing much to add here.
Do Do you want to talk about your Saturday, my Saturday first?
Mm,
I I think we
sure.
had a very different Saturday.
That's actually true. Um, yeah, we talked in between rounds, obviously, and we actually had a quite different experience in matchup spread and yeah, overall. Funnily enough, like we were talking earlier about that. I think we actually talked about it in the last video as well. That one of the Belgium guys, a very great player, great guy as
Yeah.
well. Ebut, I probably slaughtered that name. But for Sorcery Fest, he brought an Enchantress deck that was his main goal was to kick out all the Archimago players. And Enchantress on OTK plan is pretty consistent into Archimago. It's definitely one of the matchups that you want to avoid on Archimago. And guess
Yeah.
what? Who I got paired up in round one against? It
All right,
was
let's
you.
start. Let's start with you because you started. So this
Yeah.
was your Saturday.
Hmm.
So 7 rounds. The goal was to go 6-1 or above. 6-1, you were guaranteed in the top eight. It was
Hmm.
actually a very clean cut.
Yeah.
It was, hey, if you're 6-1 or above, you're in the top eight. If you're not 6-1, you're
You're
not.
not. Yeah.
So no
Which
tiebreakers, no like weird calculations and stressing it out. It was just pretty straightforward.
yeah. Which is I guess pretty. Yeah. I always feel bad for players that make like 5-2 and
Yeah.
have no chance into I think like especially Marco from Italy. He
Yeah. We'll
was
talk about Marco
yeah
when we review my
5-0
rounds. But yeah.
5-0 and then not managed getting maybe I'm actually a little bit glad because I think he's one of the players that I would be super afraid to see in the top 8. Yeah, but
Yeah. For sure.
so still sorry for that, Marco. Yeah, 1-1, as I said, playing against Enchantress Ewood. He's a great player. He knows a lot about the game. Maybe he's not like I don't know. Yeah, playing Enchantress was definitely super scary for me. We were actually on
Yeah.
the feature table round one. Um,
Yeah.
so we might have a chance to see that game at some point. Um,
Yeah.
and
It's funny.
mhm,
Before we sat down for a run one,
mhm,
you looked at me, we
mhm.
just had gone our pairing, and you're like, damn, I'm playing the Archimago killer.
Yeah, that could be like almost my make or break here, right? If I'm
Yeah.
starting with a loss, that's gonna be a hard, very hard competition to get somewhere. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I had a like maybe a little bit of um yeah bad luck with like getting even first round one, but I was pretty lucky with my draws, and he was very unlucky with his draws. So yeah, I guess he didn't really hit any of his auras. And basically I was able to like craterize him at some point. That's all I can remember. Kind of, he had a punch, but he had two punch budgets out. I had a Chains of Prometheus, which is weirdly enough not that great in that matchup usually, but if he just
Yeah.
plays minions, I guess it works out. Um, yeah, nothing much to add. He didn't really had any tools to defeat me. Um, that was one my round one. We were it was over pretty quick as well. Um,
Yeah, but like you went straight in. We'll talk about Evout a little bit later because I
yeah.
also played him much later.
Yeah.
And obviously he was in the top tables, etc. So
Mhm.
he still had great showing, great tournament.
Yeah. Great player for
But
sure,
the,
definitely. Mhm.
these are not the types of player you want to see in your round one.
Definitely not, definitely not. I was hoping a
I'm
little bit
sh-
for maybe I get a, a Templar player, or I don't know, someone who's like one of the Dragon Lords, who knows. Yeah, wasn't too lucky in that. Yeah.
what about the rest? How did your round two, round three,
Yeah, I think I
obviously
just start
sorcerer?
like top of my head what I can remember. Basically, round two was a sorcery player from Poland. I unfortunately don't remember his name. Very nice guy, and he had a earth fire, if I remember. Was there a little bit of air in it? I
Hmm,
don't think so. I think it was earth fire. Um, I kind of had all the tools that I needed to defeat Sorcery. I think
right.
it's one of my good of our good matchups overall.
Yep,
Had
agreed.
Numb Hollow's Perilous Bridge. He had Slumbering Giantess in front of it, so not really able to get in the damage. Um, yeah, it was one like in that round. I just figured out that yeah, we actually have to look a little bit on the clock. 45 minutes
Yeah,
isn't too short, but yeah, sometimes and I get it. It's hard to play into a Archimago control deck, so people have to think a little bit more about their turns. I was trying to make that up most of the time in my turn when I was just like, right, play a little bit faster. At one point, I feast for Crotem for Tyus, and I saw his hand, and I realized why he took sometimes a little bit longer. He had a double Grim and a
ooh,
Giantism in his hand, so that is
ooh,
obviously it can be
that's
obviously pretty scary. But yeah, I was just like pretty much you play a thing, I kill your thing
yeah,
until I get you, kind of. Yeah. So managed to win this one. Took a while to be honest, but yeah, eventually I got there. Round three was against a
Steam.
Steam player. Yeah, it was pretty funny. He had four funeral pyres in the end. So he
Damn.
he hit all the three funeral pyres and a mirror realm on top of it, which obviously isn't especially exactly what I wanted. And he had a jihad turn two as well. And honestly, I think that would be like he was a good player for sure, but sometimes he wasn't too sure about some rule of
Mm,
like yeah I remembered he attacked with a tawny and a trinket into my site that was defended by root spider bird.
I see.
Yeah, and yeah, I think if he had a little bit more experience into playing Archimago, that could have been like a loss for me.
Yeah, because
So I
if you
was
tell me
yeah.
If you tell me it's a jihad game and you were hit by four pyres, I'm like,
It was
that
pretty
must have been
tough.
rough.
It was pretty tough.
Yeah.
It was it was like shaky during the whole time. I was just hoping to, mm, yeah, I had a single divine healing during that game, so I was able to. Nah, he pyred that, so I was like 7 life gain in total, which needed to be enough. So yeah, game plan was to hopefully draw better cards and stay alive. And I had 2 Chaos Twisters during that game, and I mean
Both hit?
both hits. And
All
yeah,
right.
fun fact,
That's
I
what we're
had
talking
a
about.
yeah, he had a Pole Explorer and played Brother Knights, and yeah, used the Pole Explorer to land it on the Brother Knights. But it was a little shaky because if I don't hit, that means like I don't know, maybe the Pole
Yeah.
Explorer is gone, but the 2 Brother Knights get to swing in. Ooh.
Yeah. That's the
Um,
thing with Sister, right? You need to be confident enough that like
exactly.
you're not doubting yourself the moment you cast it and
And
you're actually okay going for the high risk
yeah,
line.
little fun fact here. We both had double Chaos Twister on our list. Geoffrey is like the MVP Chaos Twister. He just
I
lands it
missed one. Yeah.
yeah, but you're very, very
I have to
consistent.
admit.
And the day when I sleeved up my deck, I tried a few Chaos Twister. I remembered back then I wasn't too bad on it, and I tried it myself like after a couple of months. Never used it in paper during that time, and I did terrible with it. Like very like so bad that I had to give you a call and ask you to like turn on your video camera and show me how you do it because I was like, oh my god, maybe I have to switch to infiltrate. I was just not good with it. Yeah. Fortunately enough, you gave me the ultimate tutorial and it got much, much, much better. So yeah, my Chaos Twister were like, I think it was like 9 casts in total and I landed 6 or 7. Um, and the ones that
Damn.
were important, I landed, I guess. So yeah.
So this is the first thing we're putting behind our Helpful Hub Patreon, right? It's just Chaos Twister lessons.
Definitely. You get definitely the big margin out of this. I'm just the hype man
I,
here. Yeah.
so it's the end of round three.
Hmm.
That was when the lunch break was, just to give you some like perspective on Saturday, right? So a little bit of a
Yep.
break, and we are. I mean, spoiler for my Saturday, but we are both 3-0. Pretty happy
Three
about
zero. Yep.
things so far.
Hmm. Pretty
Yeah.
happy. I'm going into round 4 and I'm revealing my avatar. I saw him playing through it already, so I assume it's probably Steam, whatever. And sees Archimega and he goes, "Oh," like that kind of "oh," where I'm like, "Huh, I guess you don't want to play that." Um, and he starts his turn with a Troll Bridge as his first set, and I'm like, "Okay, that's still can be Steam, but it's not the kind of
Yeah. Not the
yeah."
Steam we know.
Yeah, not the Steam we know exactly. And yeah, it turns out pretty quick that he is on the Shapeshift list that I think it was like not saying it's CJ's list, but it was like definitely inspired by it, I would say, or they had the same
Yeah.
deck or whatever.
Similar shell. Yeah.
Yeah. I Feast for Crow pretty early for a Grapple Shot. He had a Grapple Shot in hand. I did that because I had no Numb Hollows.
Right.
And I figured like, how can I lose that game? It's to probably some like Grim, Grapple, whatever shenanigans. So so the rest of his hand it was a Koinixie and I think a Trinket, something like that. So nothing too scary. It's also a pretty good matchup. So I was kind of confident in between. He had a thumb thumb at some point, which was a little bit annoying because the only way to permanently get rid of it is like disable it with a root spider and kill it. Couldn't do that. um, yeah, but we got to a point where I didn't really draw any cards that basically win me the game, right? Draw it into my third Poison Over, draw it into the second Earthquake. Doesn't do anything, especially against him. He has a Green Knight that I think I had to. I don't know. Maybe I think I got it with a um Chaos Twister into the Void or something like this. I don't know. Yeah, eventually he had a Hydra out, and I couldn't deal with the Hydra. I didn't have anything. Like I had two Earthquakes. He wasn't a water side.
Mm.
Couldn't do anything. And so Tamfang was taxing me a little bit, so I was at 17 with an egg or something. Um, he managed to do Grim and Dormy.
Ouch.
Ouch. Yep. So it happens. I was able to door him back the very next turn with a Greater Eyes and did a sidestep. So yeah, he couldn't kill me with yeah. Well, I was going through his deck with Feasts earlier, right? And I was just looking for okay, what can he possibly have like that can kill me? Didn't saw anything like he hadn't had a lightning bolt or Crabble Shot was out already, and I think I was a little bit too confident, and I just said Feast for Crows again for Amulet of Ninyane to
Okay.
definitely get in the kill. And I also played a Funeral Pyre that turn. And just because like we once again had like a little bit of time issues, I was just like, whatever. Nah, I don't care about your yard.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, best story ever, he had a ruler of Fool during our games that I had to clean. And I knew his
So
hand cards
in this cemetery,
in the cemetery,
right?
right? I was in
Okay.
door, and he top decked Lady of the Lake. Played Lady of the Lake,
Ouch.
get out ruler of Fool, and kills me. And I was like, what the fuck? It's like, yeah, maybe next time you just play a little
You
bit
actually do the
cleaner.
pyre.
Yeah,
Yeah.
play a little bit cleaner. Um, yeah, but like very good player. He did everything as good as I think. Like it is a very close matchup most of the time.
Yeah.
If you don't hit like the Grim Grapple shapeshift into Hydra kind of things, it's very hard to win. Yeah, that was my first loss, and I was like, oh, okay, first
I
loss,
know.
round
First
four.
one hurts. Yeah.
Oh, all right. That's if you want to go 6-1. Obviously the 7-0 is not possible anymore. That's gonna be tough from here on. So I was like in my mind a little bit almost. Okay. It's not over yet, but let's see how it goes. Just play a little bit. Yeah, I wasn't too
How
hyped
did the
anymore
rest
about it.
go? Round five, round six, seven?
I make it real quick. Like round five against Belmage against Max, a great player from Essen, Germany. I think that was like one of our yeah, not the cleanest game overall. Haven't played Battle Mage too long. Managed to win that, but it was pretty close to be honest in the end. He doored me with a like Grim Serpilius. He was on door as well, and I had the Major Explosion in hand too. Yeah, I think I blinked and played Major Explosion to kill him, something like that. Um, I don't know, can't really remember too many of that, but it's also on stream, so we might have a chance to look at it later.
Nice.
Yeah, and round six playing against Avatar of Air, and if you remember, I was talking a little bit of shit about that
Yeah, you're talking smack. Yeah, yeah, I
Talk
remember that.
smack about of
Had to call you out.
AOA. So I was like, that would be um, too sweet, right? If an AOA player would kick me out of the tournament. And it was pretty close. He was playing pretty smart, pretty tight all the time. I had to as well. Um, and I had threshold issues. I was missing my second air for my double Chaos Twister in hand. And we were at a point where I had to do the weirdest things to just stay alive. I think at one point I had to sidestep poison over on a I don't even like on a kettle top or something to just not die. It was just like and yeah, I just draw um land for land, like side for side. At some point I was like even able to all right, I can like tap here to get another side, and I ended the game I think with like 6 additional sites in hand or something just to get to the second air.
Stone Rain value.
Yeah, to the stone frame value exactly. Yeah, I think the yeah hitting a divine healing in between this was the nail to the coffin that he didn't get to kill me. Yeah, but I was like very, very close. I think that was one of my closest games overall. And yeah, uh, so
And then
I'm
Steam
five,
Droid to wrap it up.
five,
That's
5-1, getting into a Steam Druid. Kind of funny. He asked me. He was casting Pact of the Devil, and asked me if I know the card. Just like yeah, kind of have a good understanding of some of the deck at least. I would say. Yeah, very nice guy. Forgot his name as well, to be honest. But like the tension was high, obviously, because with like just one more win and you
yeah.
be actually able to get
It's winning
really
in for both of you, yeah.
exactly, exactly. Also very close. I made a huge mistake. Round four where I played my Glastonbury in a like 2 by 2 square. And the moment I placed it and said go, I just was like, all right, if he punishes me with Atlantean Fate here, not playing it
Oh,
in
I
that
see what you mean.
Z mode, if you know what I mean. I'm like,
Yeah, so you
holy.
you played your first four sites in a block to
Yeah, and the
wait.
block, and I don't know why there was no reason really to do it. I just did it. Um, and of course he had the Atlantic and I was like, oh my God, how terrible is
That's
that?
what Steam does.
It was Steam does exactly. And I had a common sense in hand, and I was just praying to everything that is up there that my next site is a Earth source, and it was an hole, which saved me. So I was pretty lucky there. So yeah, if you're not skilled, you need to be a little bit lucky. Hit the hit the yeah the dispel, get rid of it,
The
and
Felix touch.
the Felix touch. Yeah, sometimes you need it. Yeah, that's yeah. I don't. It took a little bit. We had quite a few judge calls actually because we weren't too well. I was kind of sure about a few things, but we had to yeah ask the
Yeah.
judge to
Always check
to
with the
to
judge, especially
verify
when it's
everything.
like,
It's yeah, it was like on the line essentially. Won it in the game in the end. Yeah, Steam is always scary. Not gonna lie, that
yeah.
can just get you.
I
Was
mean, we touched on it, right, in our
mhm,
testing in the week before the event.
for
We're like,
sure
shit, we're actually probably
losing.
like
we're
losing to Steam.
we're losing to
Yeah.
Steam. Yeah. I think there
Not
was
not by like a lot, but like 60-40 maybe.
yeah 60-40. I would assume. I think it was a little bit due to the fact that the Steam list we played was very tuned into Magoo,
Yeah, for sure.
and maybe yeah us playing that deck so much is also in
Yeah.
consideration that if yeah like other players maybe don't have that much experience or that many reps, especially into the Magoo thing. I think that's like one of the big advantages. And for me personally, I think the only reason why I made it that far that people are just not so prepared into Archimago because they just maybe play
Mm.
in their small play groups and they don't have the moths and Geoffreys that it takes to yeah to get a full understanding on how to play against Magoo or with Magoo. Yeah.
So if we look back at your 7 rounds,
Hmm.
you know, Druid was the most played. You played three of them. You
True.
played one sorcerer, second most played, one avatar wearer, third most played, one battle mage, fourth most played. So pretty in line with the field, right?
Pretty in line and luck. Like funnily enough, the matchup where I would say it's the easiest for me, the Shapeshift Druid, um,
Yeah.
was one that I lost. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. That
If
was.
we if we flip to me, I
Hmm.
think we'll see a slightly different story. Anything you want to say on your Saturday before we switch to
Um.
mine?
Not really. I think like all my opponents were like great sorcery player actually. There was like you guys gave me a hard time. Please don't do it again. Yeah, no, but yeah, all games were pretty close, and that's what I mean. Like, I think you need that little bit of luck. Sometimes I could have been easily
For sure.
5-2
Yeah.
at some point. So yeah, just I had a little bit of luck for sure to get there. Um, but that's what it takes, I guess.
Yeah.
Reps,
Yeah.
reps,
Same
and a
here.
little bit of luck. Yep.
Same here. I had a very different Saturday than you.
Mm.
Because this was my 7 rounds.
You also.
I actually made a mistake here. The round 4 and 5 should be flipped. The one I lost, I think, is
Hmm.
round 5.
Yeah, it was like
Um,
no round
yeah,
6 you lost. No? Did you run? Oh, yeah, yeah. Round 5. Marco
Yeah,
was
it's round
5 and
five.
0. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
lost one run after you.
Yeah.
Um, I saw only one druid and no sorcerer, which is a shame because I think sorcerer
It's
is one
true.
of our best matchups.
Very true.
Um, so I guess let's go in order. Round one, it's a death speaker.
Hmm.
It can be a bit scary, death speaker, because they're also a control deck, and it's a bit of like, hey, if you don't get your anti-death speaker tools, like
True.
you might be in trouble. But I opened the game with like two Gnome Hollows in hand, two Root Spider, so I was like, okay, Jin is not an issue.
Yeah.
Just, went through the game, create a rise, and that was it.
You guys took a long
Um,
time to finish that game. I was like
yeah, I mean,
walking
control
by.
versus control.
Time for yeah, it's true. It's true. Also, shout out to Lars, your opponent, nice guy from Germany.
Yeah, yeah, super cool. Cool deck as well.
Mhm.
It was cool to see the speaker.
Yeah,
One of the four, so
one of four.
pretty
Yeah.
pretty low number.
Hmm.
Round two is Pathfinder. This was actually on the feature table, so I think we'll have access to footage.
Who
We
was
actually
the?
mentioned that throughout this episode, but we are hoping we will be able to comment some of the games that
Hmm.
were not the finals because we know they've been recorded. So we'll try to see what we can do, but we're hopeful we can bring you more gameplay footage, especially since the setup was really good. I don't know if you saw the finals video, but like you can see the cards
Yeah,
very clearly, etc.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. We all saw your very fancy, foily, shiny cards. Don't worry about it. Uh,
Um, yeah, Pathfinder, very weird game. Nothing happened for the longest time.
who was your
Um,
opponent? Do you remember?
I think his name was Eunice, I want to say.
Oh, Eunice, yeah, the guy from Contested
Yeah,
Cards. Yeah. Mhm.
yeah, yeah. Good player. I think definitely he definitely knew what he was doing. I managed to block him a couple times. Like Pathfinder does this little like block on the side, and they try to go back the middle.
Yeah.
Blocked him there. I think he was like a big mana deck, and either didn't see his big stuff, or sometimes they were blocked, so they were three pebble pass total from my side. So at the end, he showed me like a Highland Clansman, and I was like, great. It's 7 mana, 5 power, and you can't attack with it right away.
Yeah.
It's great. Love that. So weird game, but not too much of an issue just because I
Mhm.
think he was pretty unlucky with his draws.
Yeah, Pathfinder is one of
Um,
the scary matchups, I would say, for sure. We tested
yeah,
against Neek in our little Girls and Cushion apartment the day before, and he just, yeah, turn, I don't know, 8 or something, like double crapple shot me. Like, game was basically complete in control, but he had had the tools to door me anyways. So Pathfinder is definitely, yeah, one of the decks that can just win against everyone.
it's also hard because you sit in front of Pathfinder and you have no idea what it's going to be. It can be
It's true.
anything.
It can be.
Um, so you don't know what to mulligan. You don't know if you need to play aggressively, side placement wise, or if you
Yeah.
need to like play defensively. So it's very unsettling
Mhm.
for sure. Round three, my one and only Steam Druid. I think this was Thomas, I want to say. Very good player. You could tell, experienced TCG player, etc. I think he was a bit unfortunate. Um, and also, I think this is kind of like, deck list decisions, but I think by turn 3 or 4, he had two cores out and a Philosopher's Stone,
Mhm.
which are not things you usually see in the Steam Druid list.
Oh, then we played the
Um,
same guy. Yeah, yeah. That
so
was my
obviously he had a
round
super
6.
explosive
Yeah.
start, like huge mana, etc. Put a
Mhm.
cat on like turn 2 with a core, blah blah blah. But I knew then that like as long as I survived, he would run out of gas really, really
Yeah.
quickly.
Yeah.
And so I had Perros Bridge in front. Took him a while to go around it. I let him like check some of my sides. I just wanted him to get close. I managed to cast a browse on like turn 4 with a fair. Got a poisoned nova, so it was just about setting up the perfect nova,
Mhm.
and that happened, and that was it. And he, we had a chat after the game. Really, really good player. He told me, look, I knew you could have the nova, and I knew I would probably lose, but with the start I had, that was my only shot. Like I'm not gonna win by playing safe when I've lost 3 cars
Fair,
on
fair.
two
Yeah.
cores and a piston already. So I think he had a right assessment. He had to go for it.
Mhm.
But yeah, cool game. But went pretty quick as a result. Um, and then we get to the weird part. So up until then, a death speaker, pathfinder, a druid, sure, fine, pretty expected, right?
Hmm.
And then I went through two archimago back to back out of six, but one of the six is me, so really out of five, two out of five, and then I played two enchantresses to top up the day,
Oh
two
my
out of
God.
four, and it's not that they're bad matchups. I mean, obviously Archimago is like basically 50-50. Maybe your list like, makes it 55-60 at best, but
It just
but
can't
it's just
slip. It just can't slip.
yeah,
It's
it's just
it's it's that one
these.
thing. Mm.
So I went through 4 rounds where half of my deck is useless, right? Like
Hmm.
I don't want to see a Poison Nova, I don't want to see a Nursequake in that matchup.
Yeah, that's what I
There's
mean.
no
You
minion
just
to kill. I don't want to I want to see a Chaos Twister. And
exactly,
so
and you can't
the
handle the
variance,
the silence that goes spin attack. Well, maybe not spin attack,
yeah.
but yeah, 5 power thing that doors you if you can't remove it instantly. It just yeah.
And so it felt like I lost a lot of agency because I was just, if I drew Poison Nova, Earthquake, like
Hmm.
those cards, like there's nothing I can do. They're dead cards.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mentioned it. Round four and round five should be flipped. I actually won my round four. Um, that was against, I think his Discord name is Ilian in the Sorcerers at the Core Discord. Really great limited player.
Yeah.
He brought a cool mono water Archimago build, which is quite interesting. I wasn't sure what he was going to do for the longest time.
Hmm.
And then at some point I played a lookout, got to see his hand, and I saw two shapeshifts. And I was like, okay, I am not letting any minion live one turn ever again.
Yeah.
And from then it was, knowing what he was up to was really the turning point because then I know how to play the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Um, and so I finished round four. I'm at 4-0. At that point, you've dropped the game, so you're 3-1. And so I go through the list of opponents that are 4-0 that I can face in the next round. So there's 7 of them at that stage.
Mm.
And I go, I want anyone but Marco. It's 1 out of 7. It's not going to be Marco. And surely enough,
It is
it is
Marco.
Marco.
Yeah.
Um, and so for those who don't know Marco, he's a great player from Italy. He was in the finals with me at Siege of the Core almost a year ago.
Hmm.
Um, I always really enjoy playing with Marco because he's super clean. Like, the
Opposite of
side
me.
placements, the spells, like very meticulous, culling the triggers. I love that.
Yeah.
I just enjoy those games. Even when I lose, and losing is what I did. I obviously a pure Archimago mirror. He had a couple of like cool tech in his list that um I might not, divulge just because I don't know how secret he wants to keep it. But he had some interesting stuff going on. I felt pretty good about my starting hand. It was Divine Healing, Common Sense, and Feast for Crows. That's like the MVP.
It's true.
Um, it's like you have the Common Sense on turn 2, you can start filling your graveyard. If he starts being aggressive, you have the Divine Healing, and then you can just set up the double Feast for Crows on turn 6.
Yep.
And I did. And I called Craterize on the first one. I saw his hand, nothing scary. I called Divine Healing on the second one. I didn't have much else to do, so I might as well recast it right away. I had let a couple of leprechauns hit me for a couple times. So I was like on, 14 maybe. But I had Divine Healing in hand. So I was like, okay, I'll let him drop me a little bit more. And then I'll just double Divine Healing or something. And I'll be fine. And then after that, um, I know he doesn't have Craterize, etc. I have a big graveyard. I'll be okay.
Mm.
And so I do that. I leave him with, nothing too scary in hand. I think it was a spider and like double bolt or something. And then he top decks Browse,
Tricky.
cast Browse, go get, what was it at the time? A ring, recast Browse, go get his own Feast for Crows, and he Feast for Crows my Divine Healing. And my whole plan fell through. Like I had one safety net, which was double casting Divine Healing, completely gone. The leprechauns were still unanswered, so they could hit every turn. And a ring plus a double bolt in hand means he actually started going up in my face and being as close to me, attacking with his avatar and just pinging me bolt.
Yeah.
And I lost super quickly. I think the game was over in like 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's the experience it just confirms basically the experience we had in the mirror, right? It's tricky and super dependent on like when you draw what card. Kind of like
Yeah,
you never know. I mean, obviously, like Feast is the card to look out for, probably Grandmaster Wizards if you get them. But it doesn't mean you win.
yeah, it's
Weirdly
no
enough,
guarantee.
yeah, no
And
guarantee.
so, yeah, so it was round five. So it was 4-1 then. Just have to win the next two, basically.
Mhm.
And again, I'm hoping to, find some Steam players, find some sorcerers. And we knew there
Imagine,
were some at the top tables, right?
imagine we would have faced in the last two rounds. That would have
Yeah,
been ultimate disaster. That would turn the
yeah,
helpful heart into the Hobs with knives. I don't know. It's like
yeah. That'd be a breakup.
that would be a
That'd be
very.
one of us not going back to the Airbnb.
I guess. Oh yeah, glad that didn't happen. That I mean, that is also like part of being lucky, right? We just
Yeah,
avoided each other as good as we could.
yeah. And then last two rounds, Enchantress. One that I would say like a more typical Enchantress.
Hmm.
So water, air, fire. All the big auras, etc. Good player. Yeah, it was very close. He cast a Courtesan Ties, and I saw my tournament ending there.
Yeah,
And then,
I was
I caught
sitting
myself and I was like,
right
all right,
next to
actually
you.
do the maths.
Yeah,
Is it that bad? Yeah, you were.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, tournament flashed in front of my eyes. He couldn't quite finish with the Courtesan Ties, and I could bring him to death's door, taking his turn after. So he had to go for it. He was running out of things to do, but that was super, super close. And then the last round was, funnily enough, against your round one, Eve out.
Yeah.
Really cool deck, a different take on Enchantresses that was also in the future match, so we,
Hmm.
we will be able to look at the game. A really smart tax. He plays Rift Valley so that you can't do the usual M formation with your
Hmm.
sights.
Yeah.
He pushes you into the corners so that he can actually drop some auras on top of your head directly.
Yeah.
It was a close game. It was a close game. I had to cast a Feast for Crows on Courtesan Ties, which he didn't have, but I was like, that's fine. Just
That's
knowing
I
knowing
had
you don't have it is
I
good
had
enough.
I had the same thing against my round three Steam Toad where I feasted for ties and he said I don't have it in my deck now. Like, right, that's the same.
Yeah,
It's kind of the same thing then.
it's good
Yeah,
enough. Good
good
enough.
enough. Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, close game. I had natural Crater Rise, Major Explosion. So I think at some point it just went face, face, face.
Yeah, fair.
And that was good enough. And that was the end of
Made
Saturday.
it.
6-1.
Made
Yeah, it
it.
was rough.
Oh my God.
It
Yeah,
was
so good.
rough.
It was rough. And the toughest part for me was actually, well, I mean, I was kind of relieved that we got there. But if you see the pricing table for, yeah, top eight, you realize really quickly that the first match on Sunday is actually quite
So
important.
important.
It is
Yeah.
so important.
Yeah.
And
So the setup was we had Saturday 7 rounds, and then the top eight was played on the Sunday, so the day after,
mhm.
which is great. Honestly, being able to rest, etc., was just so
What do
good.
you mean rest? It was mentally stressful as hell knowing like tomorrow you have the most important match that you're not
Oh,
supposed to
you can
lose.
still sleep and stuff.
Well, yeah,
So,
okay.
so two funny stories.
Hmm.
So
Call that
this was our
torture
meta
here.
prediction. I'll I'll show you the top eight now so that you can see kind of who made top eight and on what deck.
Mhm.
But two funny stories. On Saturday night, there's a group that went to draft at one of the
True.
Airbnb that they had
Yeah.
rented or whatever. And I saw a video of that night, and it looks super cool, like typical kitchen table vibes. You have some people on like the coffee table, some people on the actual kitchen table, etc. People like drinking, smoking, like they're having a blast. And a lot of that were like the Belgium, Dutch guys, etc. And Nick and team. But
Mhm.
in that group, there was Hisham. Hisham went
You didn't give a
seven
fuck.
zero
Yeah.
7-0 on Saturday, the one and only
Seven
undefeated
zero.
player after the rounds.
Doesn't
And he
care.
knew he was going to play top 8 in the morning, and he was like, "Sure, I'll draft until like 11:30."
And
It's,
he actually managed to win that draft as well. Like,
he did absolutely
absolutely
baller
bonkers.
move.
Yeah.
The uh, the second funny story I have, transitioning from Saturday to Sunday is so obviously Felix and I were in the same Airbnb along with Ilfikar, who was judging at the event, and then Nick, a guy from the UK. And so Felix and I were in a top 8, so quite focused, trying to not stay too late, etc. But we meet
You can't
in the
can't say
morning.
that. Tell that about Jason, I would say.
Say again? Oh no,
You
that's not the one I'm thinking about.
okay.
This one I will not mention in a video.
Yeah.
Um, but we meet at 7 a.m. on the Sunday morning, right? We just both woke up.
Mhm.
Um, and I meet you like I guess in the hallway of the Airbnb, right? Like just in front of the bathroom.
Yeah.
I think the two first things you told me on Sunday morning, 7 a.m. before any
Yeah.
coffee. First one, very normal. Hey, can I use the bathroom?
Yeah.
And then the second one was, okay, I'm playing against Monofire Druid. In what world do I let him take location 8?
It sounds like me. Yeah. I was
I'm like,
thinking about that
Felix, I need
quite
some
a
coffee first.
yeah.
I was like, I could tell you
Uh,
had played the round in your head already 100 times during the night.
No, really, I was sure that I was facing Manuel, who was on Mono Fire Druid, and I was like so close to play that like a similar list at the Siege last year. So I kind of, well, I mean, it's like the best cards in Fire basically is all you do. And yeah, long story short,
Yeah,
I felt I was going back and forth being like overconfident into, oh my God, I'm gonna lose it so hard. Goes back and forth in like a yeah, like bipolar, definitely
yeah.
something wrong with me kind of situation.
Well,
Yeah.
because the usual pairings in a tournament is like first seed is going to play against the eighth, second against seventh, etc. And so we had figured it out that I would play against the battle mage player and you'd play against Mono Fire Druid. We
Mhm.
didn't realize that for some reason, like pretty late on Saturday, they actually switched seeds. And so it turned out that like I was going to be the one playing the Monofire Druid, and you eventually played the Battle Mage instead.
Yep.
And so you were preparing mentally overnight for playing Monofire, and I was preparing to play Battle Mage. And then just we showed up on the day, and it was like, oh, it's actually
Switch.
swapped. Damn.
Yeah. Switch. One question in between. What would you say was your overall MVP card during the Swiss rounds? Or like was there any like memorable moment where you think, oh, I'm so glad I have the lookout trick in my deck or whatever?
Honestly, I think it's just Craterize because I played so many control games where
Complete opposite
it was
me.
just a matter of like piling damage as soon
Yeah.
as possible. I was just very happy to see my Craterizes a lot.
Yeah, finally, I never really craterized at all since like all my opponent were sitting with their ass in my face, basically. If it's the Battle Mage with Polar Explorers or the Druid with Polar Explorers, it's just, yeah. For me, it was like, weirdly enough, Feast for Crows. Like that card did some tremendous work, like getting rid of 2 times double trinket and a ties that could have just killed me. Um, Definitely like a great include. Like that card just, I don't know. The more I play it, the more I like it.
Yeah, it's such a great feeling to just you can figure out what card do you still lose to if you're
Hmm.
if you're in a winning position. Just take it out. Don't
Yeah.
have to like tempt fate and let courtesan ties get you or something.
Hmm. Yeah.
So we arrive at the top 8. Quick overview on composition. 2 Pathfinders, which unfortunately had to play each other in the quarterfinals. 2 Archimago in yourself and myself. 1 Monofire Druid. Very cool build from Manuel, a local guy to Essen, I think.
Hmm.
We had Cedric, French guy,
Great guy.
on Sorcerer Earthfire.
Shout out to Cedric.
Shout out to Cedric. who is actually
The
from my hometown in France, which was completely
the
unexpected.
happiest guy all over the weekend. Never saw someone smiling that much. Yay.
And sorry, I did it for Manuel and Cedric, so I might as well do it for everyone.
Yeah.
Isham's a Pathfinder player from Belgium. Chris Bailey, Pathfinder player who traveled from the US. That was very cool.
Hmm.
Very cool to meet Chris in person. I had played with him a couple of times online. We had Andres
Hmm.
on, so German player on Steam Druid.
From Hamburg. Yeah.
Uh, and then, yeah, yourself, Felix, on Archie. And then we had Common Corb on Battle Mage. So yeah, pretty diverse top eight still, right? Like
Hmm.
the most we had was like two of the same avatar, two Druid, two Archimago, two
Hmm.
Pathfinder.
Hmm.
But we're still looking at like five different avatars out of eight,
Sure.
and a little bit of everything. You have some aggro decks,
Yeah.
some mid-range deck, and some control decks.
Real quick, if we throw it back to our predictions for what is in the top eight, I think we were pretty like our prediction weren't too bad. We talked about like Pathfinder that we wouldn't be too surprised if we see them in the top eight. Seeing two might be a little bit surprising, but it's not like triple
Yeah,
Dragonlord uh, amazing. I would say the rest is like Archimago, Druid, Sorcerer. I think
yeah,
Battle Mage might be a little bit of a outliner for sure, but also something that just I'm like not completely shocked. I think that
yeah. I
like
mean,
Dragonlord would have been a shock for me.
yeah,
Um,
agreed. I
I
think
guess that.
we that's what we said when we did the tiers, right? We said,
Hmm.
look, we expect an Archie, a Sorcerer, Earthfire, a Steam Druid. They're all there.
Yeah,
Pathfinder, etc. Like, wouldn't be surprised at all. Like usual runner-ups. But we
hmm,
also said, like, hey, the B and the C, they're not unplayable.
for
If it's your
sure.
pet deck, if you have experience with it, you can definitely get there. And I think it
Mortar,
shows in like Battle Mage
Mortar
and
Avatar of Earth did 5 and 2
yeah,
was so close to get there, so close.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And and generally at the top tables, I would say they were split into three groups. You had the experienced players on meta decks.
Hmm.
You had the experienced players on pet decks, which was pretty cool.
True.
And then you had the maybe less experienced players on meta decks.
Yep.
And it was roughly even between those three buckets. And yeah, honestly, I don't know which one I'd rather face. I think facing someone very experienced on their pet deck is very scary.
It's very scary. Agree. And that's what I was like. Basically, I'm just starting right off here with my first game.
Sure.
Against Coleman Corp, Battle Mage player. I haven't played Battle Mage, too often, so but it's always a bit scary, especially if there's like a little bit on the line. So I like took a lot of time thinking about everything, every turn, every card that I mulligan and stuff. And I think, like, unfortunately, it wasn't on cam. I think it was basically my best game in a while that I played. Just by, yeah, I played pretty tight, pretty clean. Have to give myself a little bit of a shout out
Hmm.
here. We also played like,
The self shout.
yeah, played forever.
You did, yeah. I
Yeah, we
finished
played forever.
before you, and
Yeah,
that's
the things like I was like, I didn't have a, for example, I didn't have a finisher. Besides guards. But before I wanted to land the guards, I wanted to flashback the Feast for Crows just to get the Screaming Skull out in case he top stacks Screaming Skull and eats all the
yeah,
tokens and draws a million cards and out of nowhere it's a weird like yeah. Um, but I think besides that
yeah,
I still have the little paper block where the life totals are on. He made a
yeah,
photo afterwards because I had a single Angel's Egg that was ticking like crazy. Um,
yeah.
yeah, I was like,
It's cool.
mhm.
We we kind of have to talk about the actual environment for those top eight games, right? So
Yeah,
on Saturday we were playing in a big hall along with everyone, and super spacious, etc. But obviously pretty loud, right? You have 120 players playing in the
hmm,
same area. For the top eight, it was all where the feature table was from the first round.
Hmm.
So it was kind of like in a side room, obviously like directly giving into the main hall, but it was super well um, isolated, like noise wise, right?
Yeah,
And so it was actually very quiet in there, and it was great to be able to like
very great. Yeah.
take your time because the rounds were not timed in the top eight.
Hmm.
So I don't know about you, but like that was some of the most focused and cleanest sorcery I've played ever.
Yeah, for sure. Like weirdly enough, I think I had my best and my worst game there.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I don't want to like get into too much detail because I also don't remember too much. Um, yeah, we were both pretty tight. He took time for
Mm,
his sim, I took time for my turn. Let's be honest, I had pretty great draws overall. I think I managed to get both of my Grandmaster widgets with while having time to cast them and not be under too much pressure. I did
right.
Feast for Crows early on because he had double trinket, get rid of two cards of his hand, trinket, allowed my Angel's Egg to be even more amazing if you can just swing in for free. Yeah, anyways, as mentioned, I didn't want to rush it here. I just played like as clean and safe as I could think of to just win that game. So it wasn't too exciting, I think, for someone else to watch it because there was like
Yeah,
not really, it wasn't really swingy. It was just me being like, yeah, I don't know. If you compare it to a soccer game, I was leading like 0-3 from the beginning, kind of, and just made sure that I don't get a 90-minute. Um,
sure.
yeah, you know what I'm trying to say, basically. Yeah,
Sure. Yeah.
get exactly. And yeah, my second game was against Andreas, Steam player. Didn't know him before. Great guy, funny guy. Love him. But I was like, out of nowhere, I was like quite nervous. And you can tell if you see this stream later, and we
Because
commented.
yeah, this was on the feature table, right?
It wasn't a feature table, and
Yeah.
I was like super not really, and I think I just was mentally taxed by the first game a little bit too much at that point.
Mm,
And
yeah, that's fair.
I wasn't really playing. I made so many smaller mistakes. Also, what was also a little bit I did two judges sitting next to us, and of course um they ask a few questions when you do something. We are playing like on a daily basis mostly, or often, or like having
Right.
having a few games, and so and I'm also like personally pretty known for shortcutting, which you hate, and where I
Yes.
need to get better, and I was just doing a little bit too much of the trash talking with my opponent, the judges, and going back and forth. And kettle top dies, I grab a card, but it's a spellbook instead of a
Oh, really?
side.
Judge?
Yeah, exactly, judge. And I had the card already in my hand, and so was a little like things like that where I
Oh
don't.
no,
I
Felix.
called it like immediately, but it was like still, how can we revert that? Stuff like that. Yeah, it wasn't like, yeah, made some small mistake or like bigger mistakes.
Right.
Yeah, I guess the game was like was a little bit funny. He was overextending a little bit early on into a poison over that I had already in the yard. And one of the judges kind of left the room at this point because he thought the game was over, uh,
Yeah, so
which
so
is
I had
funny.
finished my game
Yeah.
then,
Hmm.
and I did see one of the judge leave the room, and
Hmm.
I was like, "Oh, is the game over?"
It looked pretty
And he
good
was
to
like,
me at this point.
"No,
Yeah.
but I think Felix has it under control, so it's
Yeah. Yeah.
almost
Yeah.
over."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Cool, cool. I'll face Felix in the final. Sweet.
Sweet.
Perfect story."
Yeah.
And then you were not getting out of that room.
I
Like I
was.
waited, I
Yeah.
waited, I waited, and then eventually you got out, told me you
I'm.
lost, and I was
I'm.
like,
I'm.
"No, so
I'm
close."
really. I really want to see the record of it because I was like I said, I think till the point to the Nova, I was like so ahead. He topped. I don't know if he top decked. I don't know the last card in his hand, but he had a pact with the devil, which kind of let him refill for a little bit of tempo loss, which is obviously not too bad against Magoo because, yeah,
Mm.
kind
Yeah,
of.
well, so we should be able to get a footage from that game as
Yeah,
well. So
it's yeah,
hopefully we'll
it's,
review
yeah,
it
yeah,
if
exactly,
it's not
exactly.
too painful
Last,
for you.
nah, definitely not. I feel great for Andreas reaching the final for sure. Great
Yeah,
guy, like I said. Shout out to him and the whole Hamburg crew. Yeah, that was basically. I
also,
mean, I reached my top four goal.
that's what I was gonna say. Like, we need to remember that, like,
There we go.
I think our mindset was like, hey, top four, anything else is bonus,
And it was
right?
also
And
like
so
important. I was able to pick up the Rainbow Foil Magoo before you, which means I had the first
that's
one
true.
in the world, which I will never
That's
let you
true.
forget. So
The
yeah,
4D
that's
chess move.
exactly 4D chess move. Yeah, that was basically my tournament. It was a yeah, great run. I had a little bit of luck here and there. I think like takeaway for me is play a little slower and play a little more minded um when you can. I think the shapeshift deck that I lost to was like just me being, oh my god, I need to get that done within time. Where I'm like, hey, there's 6 minutes left. There's like two more rounds to play. Chill.
Yeah.
And also against Andreas, for example, it was just like a bad performance overall for me, I would say. Yeah. So just be a little bit more minded, cleaner in the way you play. But besides that, great tournament. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. And so if we talk about the two other quarterfinals, I think we should be able to get a footage from Cedric and Andreas, which I'm really excited to see because I think it should be very favorable for Cedric. Um,
Should
so I'm
be right.
curious to see how the game went. Yeah, and yeah, I'm very curious to see. Shout out to Cedric. He doesn't play. He doesn't play as much as we do, but he keeps improving. He made top eight at Sorcery Fest. Barely sneaked in there. He was like eighth.
Hmm.
And that was like a 50, 60 player constructed tournament.
Yeah.
Um,
At Sorcery Fest,
and
I was
for
surprised when he was with us at the top eight because I knew him before like as a collector and stuff. Didn't know that
yeah,
he's like that much into playing as well.
and so for the Crossroad, he was the only 160 along with Isham, and they faced at the top table in the last round to battle for like the 170 record.
Mhm.
Obviously, they both knew they were in the top eight at that point, so they were very happy. But yeah, he actually smashed it throughout Saturday. He was just kept on winning.
Yep.
Just only lost the last round. Crazy.
Yeah.
So
Amazing.
yeah, very very curious to see how this game went. Yeah, I would have loved Cedric to make top four with us. I think it would have been a great story.
True.
So we'll see how it went, and then the Pathfinder, the showdown.
The showdown.
Isham and Chris. I actually don't know too much how the game went. The only thing I know is I think it was a double death door, so must have been close.
Must have been
But I
close.
don't have much more detail than that. I think if we look at the deck lists, Bailey Boy, so Chris, is more on the aggressive side. You see a lot more minions.
Shrine of the
Um,
Dragon Lord.
the lion, the
And does he have kobolds in it if he has a Shrine of the Dragon?
parries, the kobolds.
Oh, he
So
does.
he stops at 5 mana. So
Dragonets.
yeah, pretty aggressive
Some cards are
list.
like
And
Warp Spasm.
yeah,
Oh,
and if you flip
interesting.
to Isham, much more controlling lists, like fewer minions. Some of like the value minions, right? Like the Root Spider, the Death Stealer, Infernal Legion, the Pilgrims. So a little bit of card advantage in Pathfinder.
Love him.
Um, and then a little common sense package to go get the side destruction, like a
Yeah,
full playset of
that's
Hamlet's
crazy.
Ablaze, Castles Ablaze.
Plus the meddling belts. He really want to tax you. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So very cool.
Unravel.
I assume
Like it.
must have been pretty close, and Isham eventually stabilized and took it down. But
There's quite a lot to talk about those lists. You might want to do a review of
yeah,
them. Some
yeah,
card
we'll see if we do.
inclusions that I like. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see if we do like a proper top 8 decklist video. The decklists are published out there, so feel free to browse them on Curiosa. I think since we have some footage, we might do a little bit of a combination of like decklist review, but like
For the
specifically
match?
for the
Yeah.
decks that we see on footage. Yeah, something
Hmm.
like that.
Hmm.
Also, like some of the decks are very similar. If you know, if we're not going to do my deck list and your deck list,
Why not? Talking about
there's only
Holy
so
Ground
much we
and
can say about one card being changed, Felix.
okay.
Um, so yeah, my round was the Manuel first. Great player,
Hmm.
super cool build, Monofire Druid, basically pure gas. Where is it?
You know
That's the one.
what's hilarious? Remember when I said what can you do about a root spider? And I was like, give all the root spiders their mulligan. Into Steam, I hate them, since they're like a geyser at Lenny and fade away to lose you the game.
Yeah,
But he has mud flow. I didn't even know that card existed, or I didn't. Well, I know the card exists, but I don't have it in my active part of my brain when I think about ways of dealing with root spider. Definitely not.
yeah. I mean, this is 33 fire minions, all 4 mana or less.
Hmm.
Literally, this deck does not have any card above 4 mana, which is crazy.
Yeah, you just
It's just pure gas.
draw a
4 mana
spell every
explosion,
turn.
3 firebolts.
Hmm.
Draw a spell every turn. You can afford the Wizard's Den because you're
I agree.
mono
Yeah,
color.
and the town's
You can
insane.
afford the town. You can afford the sinkhole, which are very taxing, and a
Yeah.
very very cool one of Cornerstone,
Hmm.
um, which actually played a huge role in our game because he was able to. You know how
Interesting.
Archimago wants to get his 8th side, and you can afford to like
Heard about that. Yeah.
let your opponent take a little bit of one side, but you usually have your 6 on one side.
Yeah.
And
I
Cornerstone basically eats one of those like precious 8 spots. So
I
yeah, pretty cool.
never played it, but I wonder if you compare it to Rift Valley, where's the advantage, where's the disadvantage?
Yeah,
Yeah, something we might want to
maybe.
try out. Who knows?
But it was really hard to like contain the flow because he could attack from so many angles.
Yeah, agreed.
Um,
You can also just lose
so
to he's having it, you're not, and it's gonna go 3 turns where you have a way of finding an answer to the insane pressure, and if you don't, then well, time to say goodbye. And
yeah,
if I remember correctly, that was almost the case.
yeah. So my first, I think I do my mulligan. I keep one Poison Nova. I'm not super happy about it, but that was the best out of the 3 spells I had. I draw 2 new spells. It's Craterize and another Poison Nova.
Oh.
So my starting hand is Craterize Nova Nova.
Mm.
I'm like, damn, probably out. He's gonna go full gas on me, and I'm gonna be too late to the party. Um, and it was almost the case. I didn't have great thresholds, but on turn 5, I have to draw a side for turn, and if it's exactly a windmill, I can go 4 mana for Chaos Twister, kill his 2 3 power minions, which were nicely spread out, so I couldn't catch them with a Nova,
Hmm.
and Divine Healing in the same turn. And if I manage that, and if I hit the Twister how I want, I'm in a good spot. I've healed. It's
Hmm.
not over, but like I've stabilized a little. But it needs to be specifically a windmill from the top of my deck. Otherwise, I don't have both the double air and the triple earth.
Oh my god.
And I have to go back to being a Nova or something, which is okay. It's like not great, but
Yeah.
you know, it's okay. And I go for the Sai, and it's a windmill. And I took
The smile in your
two.
face.
I took 2 minutes to prepare for that twister because that's the one twister where if I miss it, the game is over.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, hit it, kill two, three power
Nailbiter.
minion. Yeah, and then a heal. Still not out of it because right after he plays a pyre, takes my
Oof.
healing from the yard. Yeah, so it was very, very back and forth.
Oh my god.
But eventually, double guards, and he wasn't completely flipped and in my face at the time, so plenty of tokens. I just finished him with tokens and some burn. But super close game. It's super cool deck from Manuel.
Yeah.
Super aggressive.
Yeah. Don't want to waste any time. Let's go to town. That's what he's saying.
Yeah. On the other end of the spectrum, we had Isham in a very controlling Pathfinder list.
Mhm.
Um, Again, I see Pathfinder. I don't know what to expect. He had a very scary start. his second site, which he put in front of him, was a sinkhole, which means if I also put a site in front of
Ugh.
me, he can just sinkhole it right away and immediately
Those
take my front
It's
site.
almost like as bad as it can turn out for you.
Yeah. And then he can start locking me. If I go right,
Yeah.
he goes right. If I go left, he goes left,
Hmm.
etc. So I basically spent my first 6 or 7 turns just consistently having to land drop for turn.
Draw site, play site? Oh my
Yeah.
god. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I just needed to secure 8, 9, 10
Hmm.
mana so that I
Yeah, yeah,
could eventually do stuff, right?
yeah.
It's a super slow game. Nothing happened on both sides. As you can see, he doesn't have a lot of way to put pressure.
Well, that's the thing. If he just, I mean, he has two boss crawl, he has Warhorse, like a sea chain. If you just manage to get one of these, two of these down, and you have to answer them as
Yeah,
well as putting down your sides, you be in a weird spot for
yeah.
sure.
But so we had a crazy site setup. Like my sites were everywhere. At some point, there was a Imagine
Yeah,
globe, so like the sites were everywhere. And he went for some militia,
yeah,
but obviously where he can militia once, I can militia twice. So
yeah.
it was fairly easy
Hmm.
to match him on the militia.
Yeah.
And eventually the militia in I think Craterize or maybe Major Explosion
Hmm.
managed to like get the win.
Wow.
But yeah, super cool deck from Isham, and obviously a great player, won 7-0 on Saturday, and
Yeah.
great limited player as well.
Hmm.
And then the final, I won't speak about it too much because there's a video out there. I recommend you check it out. It's on the main Sorcery YouTube channel. Played against Andreas. I can only echo what you said. Great guy, super super friendly, and a good vibe at the finals table.
Nice.
Um, I think I saw his end very early, which made me a lot more comfortable in terms of like knowing what I have to play around and etc.
Fair, fair, fair,
And that was
fair.
it. That was the
Yeah.
end.
Congratulations. I'm looking up for a celebration sound here on my phone that I can put in as a sound effect. Oh, it's a advertisement up front. We have to wait for that. But then you get your
Oh no.
hey.
Oh god. It's terrible.
It's terrible. No, but well done, Geoffrey. Once again, proven that you're the man to beat. Insane. And the worst part is you be missed for a couple of months.
That's
So
right.
you're not gonna be
It's
able to attend some of the upcoming
gonna
tournaments.
take
Mhm.
yeah, gonna take a little break, expecting a baby in 2 months' time.
Congratulations to
So
that as well, to you and your
thanks.
partner. Yeah, amazing. Um,
Yeah, it'll be cool. So I won't be at Siege. So I have high expectations for the one of two helpful hobs.
I'm not gonna even try to. If even if I would be managed to like get in a win, it won't be the same. Um, I will never hear the end of the story that whoever
That's
wins,
true.
it's not the same if Geoffrey didn't attend the event. So
That's
I'm
true.
not even
If it's
trying that.
specifically you who wins, yeah, I won't let you forget. Anyone else, I'd be like, no, 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 you won. It's fine. But
It's
you,
fine.
no.
Yeah, it's true, 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 true. Yeah. No, but to wrap it up, definitely great event. We were able to get our goals in. We had a blast. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of yeah. It was taxing for sure, but that's for what we do. What we like to do. Playing a little bit of competitive sorcery, trying to, and I'm pretty glad that we saw so many people that brought meta decks and played to the best of their skills,
Yeah,
which
I
is for
agree.
me always a little bit more exciting, when my opponent is also in the same state of mind where he's craving for victory and we both have an amazing game and battle it out. So that feels even a bit sweeter if you get some victory there.
Yeah, just also getting some good sorcery gameplay in is always a
Sure.
joy, right? Like,
Yeah.
you
Uh,
know, I look back at my game with Marco and I'm like, yeah, I lost, but it was actually a really cool game.
yeah.
Just really enjoyed it. Yeah.
And on the side note as well, as I think you a little bit more than me, but I'm not able to play that much paper sorcery, and for me, just having wheel cards in hand and play with the cards that I have in my collection, it is like such a huge difference to playing online on TTS. It is so much fun. Just enjoy the cards so much more in paper and playing with like a real opponent in front of me. Amazing. So I would love to do that way more often when I'm currently able to. And yeah, hopefully we're gonna have more events like that in the future.
Yeah, if you're based in Europe, there's a couple events coming up.
Definitely.
I
So
mean, check your local scene for cornerstones, etc. But at the Uthden Troll Cup,
mhm,
organized by Trolls of the Realm, there's going to be Sorcery on the side, so that should be pretty cool. There's a couple artists.
exactly. End of
Uh,
this month, I'll be there as well. So
yeah,
feel free go
you can.
there, beat my ass, and yeah, give me a hard time.
Yep, please do, please do. And then later this year in December, Siege at the Core in Brussels, Belgium.
Mhm.
Definitely great. It's going to be the second edition. The first one was great. I'm slightly biased. Um,
Why is that, Geoffrey?
yeah, I would recommend that you attend. It's a great venue. It's going to be great people,
It's great.
and getting
And
in touch with the community is
yeah,
always a highlight.
and as a little cherry on top, it's gonna be on the weekend where Gothic is gonna be released. We just had the
Yes,
spoilers dropping, or a few spoilers, the spoiler video for Gothic dropping. It looks more than amazing. I'm super hyped about it, and yeah, if you've been to the Siege last year, we don't have to tell you how good it is. If you haven't been there, go there, enjoy the Gothic release with us. There be artists, there be obviously Gothic, a lot of like limited events. It's yeah, it's just one of the bigger things I'm looking forward till the end of the year for sure.
that's right. I will have FOMO. That's what I can tell you.
I will tell you, it's gonna be yeah. Geoffrey is not gonna be there, so we all have a little bit of chance of actually winning something. Yeah, yeah, definitely join.
All right. I think with that, we will leave you here. We'll stay in touch. We'll try to do maybe some gameplay videos if we get a hold of the footage. And yeah, basically try and keep everyone entertained until Gothic drops.
Gothic drops sooner or later, and we're gonna have a maybe a little bit of a breakdown on the cards that we're gonna see up front on Gothic.
Sounds good. Anything else to add, Felix?
Nope, not really. Thanks for staying with us and hearing us talking about some of the sorcery events we had. And yeah, stay tuned.
Catch you around. Bye.